Hey everyone, welcome back to Holtzfeller Woodworking. My name is Allan. I need a wedding present. I mean, not for me, obviously, but for some friends of mine, and I think they already have a toaster, so I'm gonna make them something. Now, the biggest challenge when making something specific for people is, what if they don't like crap? I'm out of luck. So I find it best to make something small, universal, something that everyone can use, and relatively neutral when it comes to style and taste. That way it'll fit in with their decor, and if not, you can use it somewhere else. So today I'm going to whip together a hallway key shelf organizer. I'm trying to maximize my scrap plywood, so I need to pay close attention to the measurements. Once the pieces are ripped and cut to length, I cut the groove for the backing. It's going to be inset to accommodate for the French Cleat. Saw blade approximately half the depth of the material, set the fence for the thickness of the cleat, and cut all 4 pieces. Shimmy the fence over until you've snuck up on the 6.5 mils, and then cut the rest. You'll probably have to clean up the middle of the groove. We're gonna need 4 rabbets, 2 on each end piece. Set the fence so the thickness of the plywood aligns with the outside of the blade. Don't adjust the height of the blade yet. We want the rabbets to be the same depth as the groove. The first cut is the importantest. After that, carefully clean out the remainder of the rabbet. With the back panel cut to size, do a dry fit. And sand the inside now. You might recall on the charging station project, I wish I had pre-drilled the holes for attaching the top. I like to learn from my mistakes, preferably quickly. Pre-drilling eliminates the tear out and allows for a countersink. It's also much easier to apply a coat of primer to the inside before the glue up. Notice I've taped off the rabbets, groove, and edge of the backing. Any added thickness here will mess up our fit. While that's drying, I start on the top. I have a leftover piece of rough sawn beech that needs to fit into the thickness planer. It's cupped and needs to be wedged onto a sled. Once one side is flat, lose the sled and plane down the other side. Square up one edge and then cut to width. And this is the moment I realized my error. I cut the top to fit the box, but forgot to account for the width of the face frame I'm going to add. Rats. It's a pretty simple fix though. I'll trim the edge pieces very thin. But next time, a light sanding on the primer, then some glue and clamps. While that's drying, I measure the length of our top. It's exactly about that long. This is art, not science. Sand it, and then a very subtle round over on the router. We add the newly thinned out strips to the edges. Glue and clamps is all we need. I'm careful to line up the inside edges flush. I'll sort out the outside edges later. While that glue dries, a couple of light coats of Osmo Hartvax, and then fit the other edge strips. Fill any gaps with putty, sand flat, and flush cut the outside of the strips. Then knock off any sharp edges with some fine sandpaper. And there we go, check it out. We got ourselves a box with a top. Look familiar? Ta-da! So it turns out if you develop a few simple techniques, you can apply those in combination to make a variety of different projects. Now, this does look very similar to all of the projects I've made, but someone once told me that when you're building cabinets, you're learning to build boxes. So this one was meant to be very, very simple. The next things I do, I'm probably going to expand a little bit, add a few bells and or whistles. But for this, we wanted to keep it simple, except for one minor add-on. What I'm going to do is cut a couple of recesses in the bottom and glue in some rare earth magnets. So they hang underneath, and it's going to give you a kind of a cool spot to hang your keys. A little crazy glue will keep these magnets in place. Carefully line up the top and clamp it into place. The 90-degree drill adapter works like a charm. And there you go, an entryway shelf. Maybe. I mean, I suppose they can put it wherever they want, so maybe it'll hold toilet paper. Who knows? But the key does go under there, so... Next up is the install, which I hope is here in Tübingen and not Aldergrove. No offense. Thanks for watching Holtzfeller Woodworking. Stay tuned.